27 characters.
She has 27 fingers, all to count those out.
What? Where did these come from?
We're cutting them off. Every 12 minutes, an A-lister gets its chair.
God, that was 5 hours, wasn't it?
Hello and welcome to Cassette Take, where you can eject wherever you want, but please don't forget to rewind. I'm Ethan.
I'm Annmarie.
And Annmarie, we haven't done one of these in a hot minute.
Nope.
Yeah, we're talking about some movie entertainment news today, and Annmarie, what are we talking about today?
Well, Marvel decided to put a little live stream up today. I shouldn't say little. It was 5.5 hours long, but...
It's an average stream. Ask anyone, it's average.
Kaisen.
Maybe above average.
Speed, all those guys. But they put out announcing that Doomsday is now in production and the cast for Avengers Doomsday.
Yes, it was like, a 5 to 6 hour stream. And Annmarie sat through it. I wasn't able to sit through it. I got the 1.5-minute version. But for you guys, we're going to do what Marvel couldn't and just list it off for you real quick.
There we go.
So are all the names that were listed that are going to be in Avengers Doomsday. Starting with Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Anthony Mackie as Captain America, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, Letitia Wright as Black Panther, Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, Wyatt Russell as U.S. Agent, a.k.a. Diet Captain America.
Yes.
Tecna Huerta Maya as Namor, Ebon Moss-Bachrach as The Thing, Simu Liu as Shang-Chi, Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova, Kelsey Grammer as Beast, raising some eyebrows, Louis Pullman as Sentry, Danny Ramirez as Falcon, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, David Harbour as the Red Guardian, Winston Duke as M'Baku, Hannah John Kamen as Ghost, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, and here are the ones that will really raise your eyebrows off your face. Patrick Stewart as Professor X, Ian McKellen as Magneto, Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler, Rebecca Romijn as Mystique, James Marsden as Cyclops, Channing Tatum as Gambit, Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, and of course, Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, who gave you a little...
At the end.
At the very end.
Now, for all of you that are listening, I was counting on my fingers. That's 27 characters.
She has 27 fingers, all to count those out.
What? Where did these come from?
We're cutting them off.
Ow. But 27 characters announced today for Avengers Doomsday. Ethan, we knew that this cast was going to be stacked. I did not think it was going to be this stacked.
Well, I can tell you right now, and we have video evidence that I might have guessed it might have been this stacked.
Yes. Guys, if you didn't know, about a year ago, 6 months ago, we put out a what?
A tweeter.
We put out a reel about our 2 theories for Avengers Doomsday, and Ethan, gold star, my friend.
All right, context. So we had just saw Deadpool and Wolverine, and we were talking about like all these announcements with like Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, and like how they were. I think at the time we only knew they were doing Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, okay, even though I have never read Secret Wars, this is what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be. The general idea is going to be the Fox Marvel universe and the current MCU are going to be the 2 universes that collide. Unlike, in the comics with the Ultimate Universe and the regular...
Yeah, regular
universe, where they collide, and then that all leads into Secret Wars. So I just kind of figured that would be the case with Fox versus the MCU, and those are the 2 universes that collide. And now with this evidence of, we got a lot of our old Fox buddies with Sir Patrick Stewart, and Sir Ian McKellen, James Marsden, and all these 20th Century Fox X-Men characters, into the fold. I think I'm pretty validated in not only saying I was right, but also now elaborating on the fact that I have finally read Secret Wars, both versions, and can say that I think Avengers Doomsday is just going to be that whole sequence of the very beginning of Secret Wars, where it is like the 2 universes colliding, and, when that big big, like, to avoid spoilers, but when the big cataclysmic event happens, it's going to be the equivalent of Thanos' snap in Avengers Infinity War. Go to white or whatever, and then, like, we wait to see what the new Secret War battle world is like.
I think you're 100% right, just with the evidence that we have Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, all these X-Men Fox universe characters coming back in. I texted Ethan right away. I was like, "How did you know this? Like, what?" But it makes so much sense because Secret Wars, go read it, you guys, if you have not read it. Secret Wars is such a great comic book.
Preferably the, was it 2014 version?
2015, 2014?
2015, yeah.
Yeah, this great storyline. And also, I think this really plays into maybe some of those leak images we saw too earlier this month. Who knows? I don't want to call stuff yet, but, I think, I'm just going to say, if we're going to throw theories out there, I think Loki's going to be very important.
Yeah, I mean, and let's just give you guys a heads up here. We'll probably be spoiling a lot of what happens in the comics of Secret Wars, both iterations, most likely. So, if you really want to stay clean of hearing any hints of any spoilers, feel free to eject now and then join us later when you had a chance to peruse some good old-fashioned comics.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But I would have to say that Loki is going to be like a molecule man kind of equivalent here, because right now, with where we left him off in Loki season 2, he's basically like the god of sorts right now.
Yeah.
And has control over all these timelines and like can rearrange all this. So he's going to be that guy that everyone's going to look to be like, oh, he could alter this and do that. And it's going to be an interesting way with how they handle it, because obviously he's not Molecule Man, and he has different powers and abilities, but it's still in tune with what Molecule Man is all about in that storyline.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm super excited. Again, I think I'm always been a huge X-Men and Fantastic Four fan, so even that we're getting Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen back, it just makes me so excited to see them back on the big screen. And I can't believe this is happening. Like, little Annmarie would be screaming. She's screaming right now, actually. But it's just so crazy. But yeah, I think Secret Wars is going to lean into Loki and the God of Stories and all this stuff happening. And, Doctor Doom is huge in Secret Wars, very important in Secret Wars. So I'm just so excited for this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I could tell. I could hear your screams from miles away.
Yeah, I wanted to text you every announcement, be like, they got Channing Tatum? And then I'm like, no, I can't.
So, speaking of, what would you say is your favorite casting in this entire movie based on what we've released?
Favorite? Well, I will say, first off, I like the little touch, Marvel. You might have made it 5.5 hours long, but I like the little touch that they played a little music beforehand. Patrick Stewart's had me screaming. I screamed when it said Patrick Stewart. I could not believe that. Kind of figured he'd be in it. But the one that actually surprised me the most is Rebecca Romijn. I can't believe she's coming back as Mystique.
Yeah, that one I wasn't sure if it was going to be like a Jennifer Lawrence situation or if that was going to be, a Rebecca. But it's just, I don't know. Maybe there would be like kind of a nod to it with shape-shifting.
Yeah.
It could still be Jennifer Lawrence as well, like for a hot sec and then back to Rebecca,
I prefer the real Mystique. That meme. Which one surprised you the most?
I mean, again, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. I think Ian McKellen, actually, because Patrick Stewart, I'm like, oh, yeah, we've seen him in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. But, Ian McKellen, we have not seen at all, really, during this whole span of multiverse craziness. And this is our first mention of him. So it's really great to see. That got me really excited. Ian McKellen is a great actor within himself, outside the MCU too, and I think this one shall pass. See what I
get it. Well, come on. If you have Patrick Stewart, you have to have Ian McKellen in there, right? Like, you kind of have to at that point.
Yeah. I mean, it's just you got your dynamic duo there, but again, like they only used him in or Patrick Stewart in Multiverse of Madness by himself, without splitting up that dynamic duo. So it's nice to see them together again, or at least their chairs adjacent to each other again.
Oh, yes. I will also say, like, very happy with the X-Men we got. Like, James Marsden, I think he needs his due as Cyclops. Guys, listen, Cyclops is such a, don't swear, Annmarie, such a bad character in the X-Men films. Go read an X-Men comic. You will know who Cyclops is. He's like the Captain America.
He is the peak of the love triangle.
He is the, wait. But, like, he's so much better. So I'm excited for James Marsden. Channing Tatum, so happy they're having him back. Like, really, that was the biggest applause during
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, he was so ready. He should have his daddy's dick ready. I mean, it was... Yeah.
Can you do the accent? I can't.
Oh, I can't, but one can try.
One good job.
Ooh, it's about to make a name for us then.
There we go.
Oh, that was terrible. But yeah, it's just so great to see like even though it's just names on a chair, like it's just so great to see all these characters coming into the fold here. And I gotta say, what are your thoughts on the Black Panther Wakanda Forever characters coming back here? I mean, obviously we need to bring them back here. They need to be back into the fold, but we haven't seen them in a while. Wakanda Forever received some mixed reception, and do you think it's going to involve like another version of Black Panther other than Letitia Wright's version? Do you think it's just moving forward with Letitia Wright as the Black Panther, kind of moving forward from here with that being the case? I mean, now we got Namor that's also going to be a part of Avengers Doomsday, which, I don't know too much about the big Marvel implications of how involved Namor is in the grand scheme of storytelling here. But yeah, what do you think is going to go down there on the Wakanda side of things?
I'm just saying, Reed Richards better watch out for Namor. I'm just saying. But Wakanda side of things, yeah, I was very surprised Letitia Wright and Winston Duke are back in it. I will say, I'm happy they're back in it, too. I'm interested to see what they do because, like, yes, there has been rumors about them casting a new Black Panther because there is a void kind of missing without Chadwick Boseman and that character specifically. And I've always thought maybe they should have recasted him instead of moving the mantle over to Letitia Wright. But I think it's good to have them in there so it brings the Wakandan world back because Black Panther made $1 billion, I'm pretty sure, or got pretty close to it.
I'm pretty sure it did.
So I'm happy that they're bringing Wakanda back because I think that's such a main staple for the Marvel Universe, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and my opinion, I think they should have just recast. I thought it was too soon to kind of just have a handing over of the mantle kind of thing to an already established character. I mean, I would have been fine with that handing over of the mantle if Chadwick Boseman had been around longer, or the character of the Black Panther, as we know it, had been around a little longer, established in the MCU, outside, one movie and then being a side character in the others. So it would have been nicer to have that transition. But they decided to go one way with the handing over the mantle sooner, and it led to what, in my thoughts, a pretty run-of-the-mill kind of film.
Just okay.
Yeah, it was just okay. But yeah, I think they should have went one way, they went the other. But with what they have now, it leaves a lot of questions as to what's next. And that goes for any of these Marvel characters. But I think it's just very interesting to see what's going to happen with, again, the Wakanda side of things.
Yeah, and we know, like, Avengers Secret Wars isn't going to be the end of the MCU. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, come on. We're going to get Black Panther 3. We're going to get other films, too. I'm just so interested, though, of because I thought this cast was going to be really stacked and all that, but there was a lot of people missing from this cast. We don't have a Tom Holland. We don't have a Hugh Jackman. We don't have a Paul Bettany. We don't have Elizabeth Olsen. We don't have Ryan Reynolds. There's people, Captain Marvel, there's people missing here. Ethan, I don't think this is the whole cast.
Oh, absolutely not. I think this is just your main cast,
Mm-hmm.
and we know Marvel at this point. They like lying to us, lying to our
Love
face,
lying to us.
but for our own good.
Oh no.
And remember, if a big billion-dollar company gaslights you, it's wonderful. It's because they love you. Kidding. Never say I said that, because no, don't take that at face value. But no, I think I couldn't agree with you more. It's not the whole cast. Like, it's a grand cast, and I'm sure the budget for just the cast alone is gonna like dwarf the rest of the remainder of the spending, but right next to visual effects. But it's crazy. Who do you think though is going to be the biggest character missed if they're not in the movie?
Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk.
Really?
Mhm.
I was not expecting you to say that.
Absolutely. I think, honestly, he's such a staple. Because, think about this. Let's go back to Avengers. Who are the main six Avengers? We only have one returning. Chris Hemsworth. I honestly was shocked that Mark Ruffalo's name didn't come up. I thought he was going to be one of the main ones. Like, him and Captain Marvel were the two that I was like, really? They're not in this?
I mean, it could be one of those things where they're saving them for Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, again, either way, I don't think that everyone that was announced today is exclusively those characters that are going to be in the movie and no one else is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like a good chunk of them might be saved for Secret Wars exclusively, because it'd be so interesting to be like, oh, last time I saw this character was in this movie a few years ago. Now they're in a completely different place, and they might look a little different because it's an alternative version of them after the big cataclysmic event of the ending of Avengers Doomsday. So I don't know. They might go that route. They might bring everyone all back in Doomsday at the very end, but I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting to see how they all handle that, because that's a lot of characters.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's more than Endgame. Uh, Honestly, like, Secret Wars is going to be huge, and if the Russo brothers can pull it off, like, they're legends, absolutely. So we'll have to see, but yeah, there's main characters that I instantly thought, like, this can't be the whole cast, right? Like, where's some of these main characters, the staples of the Marvel universe? And it's going to be a risky play for Feige, because God forbid, but what if Fantastic Four bombs?
Oh no.
No, don't say that. But, like, really, I think the Fantastic Four are going to be main players in here. So what if it bombs? Like, risky move.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you just need to add more, garlic in the sauce.
Oh man.
See, that's the thing.
Don't know.
I did it. I made the joke.
I made the joke.
Aren't you proud of me, Ma? Yeah, your son did it. No.
That's the thing.
But aside from, making the joke that has been made 1,000 times, as many as there are universes in the multiverse, I gotta say that it's just that take that you had on the Hulk not being it. That is so fascinating to me.
Really? Who did you think?
I thought you were gonna say like, oh, Spider-Man.
Well, I think Spider-Man is going to be big in Secret Wars.
Okay, but do you think he's gonna have at all like a part to play in Doomsday, or do you think it's gonna be one of those? Because I mean, what is the Spider-Man movie comes? Spider-Man 4 is in between.
Yeah, it's
the
in
two?
between.
Okay, so how do you think they handle that?
I don't know, because I've been a big person on that you shouldn't have these street level characters in there. Like, I made an Annmarie a little bit ago saying, please, Daredevil, don't be in Doomsday. Like, if he's in Secret Wars and it's like, he gets teleported and that's battle, fine, whatever. I just don't know if I want lower levels to be main players. But Spider-Man's an interesting one, because he is lower level, but, like, like he's been such a huge part of the Marvel universe. So
Bro's been to space. I'm not sure if he's still
yes,
quite lower level.
he's not Daredevil. And when I say lower level, I mean
No,
like
I know.
street level here. I'm saying that because I know I'm gonna get ripped in the comments. But like that's what I mean. Like I was shocked that he wasn't in there, but I honestly think like I don't know how you handle Tom Holland's Spider-Man anymore because he is an unknown. Like, how do you do that now?
Yeah, now that I think about it, it probably will be like he won't be involved in the movie, and then we'll be like, well, where's Spider-Man during like kind of like where was Ant-Man during Infinity War, and then we got that movie, and it was like, what? He's this tiny boy for so long. That's crazy. And we might get the same situation with Spider-Man. Coincidentally, both revolving heroes. So
He might be in it. Like I said, I don't think this is the whole cast. Like I think he might be in it. I do think we do know our main players. I do think the Fantastic Four are going to be main players in this. I do think Thor and Ant-Man are going to be main players. What? Ethan's putting his hands on his head, and I'm worried.
this is like such an interesting theory that just popped into my head.
What?
But it's probably so minute in the grand scheme of things. But if you read Secret Wars, it's actually not minute. So you know how, like, the whole thing with Molecule Man when both Spider-Mans, Miles Morales and Peter go see Molecule Man, it's like, I need food, and Miles just pulls out a burger from his butt.
Yes.
Like, and that changes the sequence of things and like has huge altering consequences because of it. What if that's like the whole thing with like Loki? Like, I need a burger, and it harkens back to like that Loki thing, that McDonald's Loki partnership.
My
Do you remember that?
Wait, with Sylvie in
Yeah.
Loki season 1? Yeah.
It's like, I could use a Big Mac or something like that.
I love that was your theory, that like, and you're like, I was like, what?
It changes everything.
Good, honestly.
It's really turning the burger on the other side.
Spider-Man has like a McDonald's hat on. Welcome to McDonald's. How can I take your order?
Or it's like he takes a bite. I was like, oh, this is so better than a Big Mac. And it's like the burger that Spider-Man gives him is actually like a really good, genuine, like straight up good New York burger. And it's just like, oh, this is so much better than like the Big Mac I had.
Hey, as long as it's better than New York pizza. I said it. Ethan's gonna kill me.
I think we need to censor that.
No. But I'm just interested because Secret Wars has a lot of. I know this is just Doomsday, and we both agree that this is gonna be all set up for Doomsday or for Secret Wars, which super happy about. Very excited to see people fight each other to the death on Battle World. Hopefully that's the direction they're going. But it is interesting that you have these X-Men characters in here because I don't think Feige is going to use those X-Men characters afterwards. I think he's going to want to build his own X-Men.
Well, remember what we discussed last time was once it gets to that end where the worlds just kind of all merge together, and we get this brand new spanking, universe from Marvel. I think that's where we're going to be seeing a lot of recastings. It's essentially going to be this giant reboot for Marvel because you can't always keep these same characters, at least most of them, these same actors around for the long run. It's just logistically insane to do that with all the contracts, the scheduling, the wanting more money with each movie. It's just so crazy. So I think we're going to see a lot of recasts coming with this upcoming reboot when we get to the end of Secret Wars.
Yeah, it's like Feige's time to be like, okay, people didn't like this character, we're gonna take this character out and switch it. Like it's gonna be him with his clipboard erasing stuff and writing new stuff. And
I mean, I don't think it's gonna be a matter of like, oh, the people didn't like this one, let's switch them out. I think it's just gonna be a matter of like setting a nice pattern of who do we keep? Who do we let go? Who do we keep as a new character, but like, a similar actor? I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities. Maybe it will play into fans didn't really take to this character or this actor to this character all that well. Let's see if this fan casting works. Might go that route too. I don't know. I'm not Mr. Feige.
Yeah. Well, and Marvel has gotten so huge at this point. Like, in the Chapek era, we had I think 20 plus things come out, or 10 plus things come out, like TV, movies. It was insane. So it's interesting. I guess my final question for you, Ethan, is it kind of plays into this. Now that James Gunn is starting the is starting the DC universe, how well can Doomsday do? Because Feige's battling an uphill climb at the moment.
I mean, I think it's just gonna be a benefit to both DC and Marvel.
Okay.
Like, as superhero movies succeed. So I think there's gonna be real desire for wanting that feeling of going to the theaters again and seeing a Marvel or DC movie and being so excited and so satisfied with it, and just expecting greatness each time, or at least something solid each time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they'll pair nicely with each other. Of course, I think there's going to be a lot of friendly competition, and I hope it's universally friendly, but we all know how the online world works, and that's never the case. So, with great pride, I say that there will be indeed some at least friendly competition of, like maybe the two social media managers for each company kind of like doing the fun little back and forth banter.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, and we've seen in the comics recently, they decided to do another like DC Marvel crossover event. Those are always fun to see, and it's nice to see two big rival giants kind of come together like that. So I think this would be a nice moment for them to do that, especially since they're both on an uphill battle right now to reclaim where they used to be, or at least close to where they used to be. I'm not sure if they ever will be exactly where they used to be, but
Yeah, and I'm gonna just kind of emphasize what you said. Winning cures all. So let's just say Thunderbolts, Superman, and Fantastic Four kill it. Doomsday can make $1 billion easily. But if Thunderbolts or Fantastic Four kind of flop, it's gonna be kind of more difficult for Kevin Feige. But I hope, I never want to see a movie fail. And so I hope that both DC and Marvel can go to the challenge.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the A24 style marketing that Thunderbolts decided to do, how could you go wrong?
Cinema!
Cinema!
I love it!
No, I mean, maybe that's why they decided to do the whole... Like, I think right before I hopped into the car, I was watching Man Carrying Things video. He just, like, compared the A24 thing to why they did the whole chairs thing. Like, maybe, what? He's joking there, but I think he might actually be right.
That they did the whole 5.5 hours of showing chairs?
Yeah, like, because it's cinema.
Maybe. Who knows? Listen, at least we got the 1.5-minute video that came out afterwards.
Yeah, like just the short version. And it still had a lot of the music cues that made everyone's heart smile. So that's always nice.
Do you think Robert Downey Jr. was waiting there for 5.5 hours?
In my head canon, yes.
He's in the back playing Super Smash Bros. On his Nintendo Switch.
Well, if he was just doing Doodle Jump. Like, something that no one ever really talks about anymore, but he's still playing it. Like, he's been playing it this whole time since, 2008? And just, like, on an old iPod Touch.
Anthony Russo comes like, hey, I got a Dr. Doom I go, not now, Anthony! I'm on 194!
Yeah, it's like he has all this money. It's like, oh man, I just keep forgetting to get the next iPhone. Like,
I missed it, dang!
It's like, I just doodling these jumps. It's crazy.
Oh, man.
But you know what? I think this whole sequence today just got everyone excited, regardless of where you are as a Marvel fan, and I'm excited for it too. I know that Annmarie is excited. Again, I probably lost all form of hearing, even though it was miles away. But we love the excitement of all Marvel fans, no matter the volume.
Yes.
So,
And the time.
but either way, guys, we want to know what you think. Are you excited for this upcoming Avengers duology we got going on with Doomsday and Secret Wars? Are you excited because of this cast video? Were you already excited? Do you need more? Do you need more? Why do you need more? Do you need more to be satiated with your hunger of Marvel goodness? Whatever you're thinking, let us know your takes on our tapes in those comments down below. And with that, Annmarie, I think that about does it.
Let's wrap it.
We're wrapping it. And guys, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It's all generic sounding, I know, but at the end of the day, it really does help us out. If you love hearing us for God knows why,
Yeah.
we'd like to solve that mystery too. So get the word out so more people can get back to us on why that's the case. But hey, we hope that you've enjoyed this podcast and joined us to the end. But whether you have ejected this far into the podcast or not, early on, now, wherever you ejected, please, my gosh, do not forget to rewind. I've been Ethan.
I'm Annmarie.
And goodbye.
We got this done in shorter amount of time than Marvel. Wow.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle.